guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting video for everybody. I received in the mail the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection. Ignore my broken nail. It's gross. The Morphe and Jaclyn Hill Vault Collection, which I'm so excited about. Anytime Morphe comes out with something, I'm usually pretty excited about it. And I'm especially excited because I really liked the Jaclyn Hill palette. I know some people had complaints, but for me, I loved it. I use it all the time on my clients. It's kind of one of my go-tos. So it literally is a little vault, which I feel like it's hard to see. It's literally like a little vault. It's all glittery and blingy, and like the whole outside is glittery. And when you twist the little knob and open it, this is what it looks like. So all 4 palettes are in here, which they are color coded, and then you have the little note section here from Jaclyn. So they each come out like this. I can get one out. So they're about this size, very handy sized, and they each come out of here like so, and they're all color coded with the names, and that kind of like matches like the little, there's like flecks on the outside that match the name and kind of match the theme of each palette. So this one is called Dark Magic, which the writing on it is like a silvery dark gray, and then when you open it up, this is what it looks like. There is a mirror inside here. And the shades are really pretty. I love the shades in this. I'm really tempted to use this one today, but I'm kind of in more of a warm mood, so we'll see. So this one is very green and blue. It's got a really pretty black color in it, which when I watched her original video, she said that this black was like the best black ever, which would be awesome because I'm always looking for a good black. And I recently just shattered my one in one of my Morphe palettes that I liked. So it does have a nice base color, and then there's 3 different shimmers. It looks like these 2 are the most shimmery, and then this is kind of like an in-between shimmer, and a bunch of mattes. So I do really like this palette. I think that this would be really pretty for fall especially, but I also feel like this is a very pretty cool toned palette if you're not super into all the warm tones like she is. All right, and then the next one is Bling Boss, which has kind of a purpley, I feel like you can't see it, but it has like a purple writing to it, and this one is very purpley and pink, which this one really speaks to me. I love this one, and I get called out on social media all the time for only doing purpley looks, and I'm sorry, I can't help it. I just really love purple colors. But this one has a lot of purples and pinks to it. It's got like that really pretty rose gold shimmers, which I love, and then a very dark kind of gold purple shimmery color at the bottom, which I feel like on camera looks more purple. Hi Luna, do you like the pinks too? But it does have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers, not including that bottom one because it's not a total shimmer, I don't feel like. And then the matte shades are very pretty. I really like this Sparks shade. I think this is super pretty. I'm excited to try this one a lot because I do think it's really pretty. So this is what that one looks like. And then the next one is Ring the Alarm, which has a very orange tone to it. I'm gonna take these out. And I have swatched this one a little bit more than the others just because I wanted to try this one. So while it does have the warm shades, it also incorporates some of those purpley shades as well. So this one has more red, and it does seem to have a little bit more of the matte tones in it. This siren color is really pretty. I'm really excited about that one. And then these orange colors are very bright orange, which I like. And I did test this on camera gold color, and it's like a super gold, like a super yellowy gold, which I like. So I am excited to try this. And this one, Lolly, which this shade, Makeup Geek used to make a shade called Wildfire, I think, and it looked very similar to this, and then they stopped making it, and I really liked it, but I ran out of it. And so I'm really excited to try this because I love kind of rosy, orangey, shimmery shades like this that incorporate some gold. So I'm really excited to try that. And then the very last one, it's called Armed and Gorgeous, and the writing on it is yellow. So this one is like a super warm palette. It has some green in it, which is exciting, but it's like a very warm palette with very intense gold shimmers, and then this is a very white shimmer, a very champagne-y white shimmer, because I have tested this one a couple of times. But this green is super pretty, but it also incorporates a little bit of that like more warmy orangey tones with a little bit of the warm green. So it's kind of a mixture of the two, I feel like, palettes, and it kind of incorporates its own warm shades without being typical warm. But this one is definitely a very good like combination with the other. Like I feel like these two together could really I feel like you could really achieve a lot with both of these palettes just because of the shades that are in there. Like you could really do a lot with both of these palettes. If you were gonna pick two of them and you like the warm shades, those two palettes are probably gonna be your favorite. But yeah, I'm really excited to try these. So I don't know what I'm going for today. I haven't decided. I wanna do something kind of warm, but I get yelled at a lot for doing that. So I don't know, maybe I should do something kind of green. It's such a struggle. But I am gonna do 4 different videos with 4 different looks so that we can all kind of see what each palette is capable of, and we can test it out together and see what I like and what I don't like. I'm usually not very critical when it comes to eyeshadows. I know that sounds silly, but I feel like I can work with just about any eyeshadow. So I'm not super critical of eyeshadows, but I will try to be because I know that that is important to a lot of people. But I'm really just not I'm critical of foundation. So there's a reason that I use Makeup Forever foundation in just about every video, because I have found very few that I'm willing to talk about on my channel. So that's like a big thing to me. But I think, all right, I think we're gonna go with Armed and Gorgeous today. I would like to use this green color, but I also would really like to use this white shimmery shade as well, because I do feel like it's really pretty. And I would really like to see this on the inner corner of my eyes. So I think we're gonna go with this palette today and see what I can create. It's gonna bug me that I don't have a black, because I'm really obsessed with using black shadow, but I'm gonna see how dark I can get this one. So that's kind of the challenge, is to just use this palette and see what happens. So let's get started. To prep my skin, I'm going to be using the Blissful Body Miracle Beauty Oil, which I believe the name has changed now. I've had this for a hot minute, but I really, really like it. So this is what I'm going to use on my skin, and then we'll get into the eye makeup. Okay, since there isn't a bone type shade in the palette, I'm gonna go in with my Laura Mercier translucent powder and just kind of set all of that in place so that when we go in with the shadows, they don't get gross, I guess. So the first shade that I'm gonna go in with is this shade here, which is called Access. I'm going to use this as my transition shade, which is kind of an intense transition shade. I do wish there was like just one shade lighter. I think that would be a little bit better, but we're gonna work with it and see what happens. All right. Oh yeah. Oh, this is very pigmented. Oh man. I feel like I just rubbed dandelion dust on my eyeball. You ever did that as a kid? Rub dandelion dust on things? Oh my heavens, this is a lot. Okay. I like this. It's a little bit lighter than I was expecting, but I actually like that because I was just talking about how I wanted a lighter transition shade. This does seem like it's actually a lighter transition shade once you get it onto the skin, and it is very, very pigmented, and I kind of feel like I should have gone in with a smaller brush, but that's all right. We're gonna just go with it because this is just gonna be our transition shade. So I'm mostly just kind of getting this all over this area. I'll clean up underneath of it later. And that was just like one little tap into the palette. Like, I'm gonna go with this is a lighter one tap, but again, one tap into the palette. That's what this is. These are super pigmented, but I do feel like they're pretty easily blended out. And I do feel like this is a lighter shade that I was kind of wanting. This is a little bit more yellow than I was expecting, but honestly, I feel like I want more yellow shades in my palettes and I don't have very many. So while this was more yellow than what I was expecting based on looking at it in the palette, this is something that I would want. So I believe that this is a Morphe brush. This is R39. It's a little bit smaller. I have rubbed off the label because that's what I do best. So I'm gonna go in with the last shade here. Yeah, this shade here, which is Agent. I do feel like this is gonna be a very fun transition deeper into my crease shade. One little pack, I swear, these are intense. Okay, so this is much more orangey, but this is kind of the perfect shade to build with that previous shade. I do feel like I like this shade a lot. Oh, this is pretty. I'm really like feeling like I'm gonna create a sunset, but that's not what I'm going for because I want to use that green shade. But if I had that sunsetty look in mind, I would definitely be using this palette. All right, so I'm gonna use one more tap of that. I am gonna go for more of a halo-y smoky eye because I wanna use that light shade on the inner corner and I really wanna make that pop. So, ooh, that's really pretty. All right, again, one tap in the palette. I think I've done 2 taps in each shade, which is pretty good. Like, I feel like these are really pigmented. And I heard there were some complaints this morning when I was looking on Facebook and Instagram and that sort of thing. I heard there were some complaints about some of the palettes, about them not meeting Morphe standards or something like that. But I didn't really, I don't know, I didn't read too much into it, so I'm not too sure. I probably should look more into it and see. Maybe my next video we'll talk about it a little bit more. But I personally so far don't have any complaints. I do feel like these are, I mean, for $15, you know what I mean? These are really cheap. This is my second dip into the shade. These are really pretty. I really like this. Okay, so I am gonna go in with Secure down here. This is a little bit more of a hotter orange compared to the other one. So that's gonna be my next option as far as building up that crease just a little bit more as I dig my nail into it. So one more dip. Oh yeah, this is a little bit more orangey, which I really want that orange to come through since I'm gonna go over it with the green. So I don't want to lose that orange when I put that green on there. And I am focusing this more in the crease and on the outer and inner corner, just because that's where I want that color to be the darkest. All right, I think that's enough. I'm only gonna do one tap for this shade, just because I don't wanna go too overboard with it. I mean, I guess that would be a dip into the shade, but I feel like tap is a better word, I don't know. I really like this. I think this is really pretty. Okay, so my next shade I'm gonna go in with is Top Secret, which is a very, like, I feel like an army green style green. Like, it's not very cool. It's a very warm green. It doesn't have very much blue in it. So I am gonna go in with this one. This is kind of my star of the show. This is what I really wanna build up because I'm gonna go in with shimmer shades in the center. So I really wanna build this one up to keep that green in there. And then we'll darken it a little bit with those darker colors. Ooh. Ooh. I do feel like it is kind of hard to find a warm toned green in palettes. I feel like most of my palettes have very tealy blue greens in them, and it's hard to find like just a warm green, which maybe I'm not looking hard enough. That's possible, since I do kind of steer more towards mauve shades, but I have a struggle in my palettes where anytime I do a green makeup look that I don't have like a very warm green. Like, I have one from NYX I think that I really like, and then the one in the Jaclyn Hill palette is a little bit more blue, which I don't have anything against because I normally like blue greens, but when I'm doing a warm toned look and I want a green in it, it's hard to find. Okay, so I'm gonna build this one up just a little bit more than I did the others because I really, really want this green to pop and stand out. Especially since my eyes are green, like I feel like this is a good shade. Ooh, that's really pretty. All right, I'm gonna build this up in the inner corner just a little bit. I have to open my mouth when I do it. I can't help it, I'm telling you. I feel like I struggle with getting both sides of my eyeshadow to be the same darkness. Like I struggle with that. Like I feel like, I don't know. Like I get impatient and I want to go on to the next step. So I'm like, okay, let's go. And then I don't use as much pigment, or I don't blend as much, or I just give up. Like I do feel like I do that because I'm ready for shimmers. Okay, so I think gonna go in with Prowl a little bit on the inner corner and outer corner just to kind of build that darkness. So it's kind of a more warm brown and it's not super dark, which I can't decide if I'm gonna like or not because I really typically would go for a black. I'm gonna use this tiny little BH Cosmetics 105 brush. This is a pencil brush, so I'm gonna use this with that dark shade. Ooh, that is so pigmented. One little tap, that's kind of a lot. Alright, so I'm just gonna build, I do feel like maybe this takes away a little bit of the green. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in the areas that I want it to be. And then I'm gonna go back in with that green just to kind of really, because I like that this is creating that dark color that I like, but I also don't like that it's kind of getting rid of that green. So we're just gonna kind of put that where I want it. That's intense. And then I will go back in with that other blendy brush with that green shade and kind of blend on top of it as to, these are very pigmented. I'm leaving that slightly unblended so that I can go back in with the green. So I'm gonna go back in with that brush and just kind of put that on top. I do like that. I think that's really pretty. I feel like I've lost a little bit of that orange on the crease, so I might have to go in with that very hot orange one more time, but that's normal for me. I do feel like, I don't know, I feel like anytime I do eye makeup looks, I don't just go from like step 1 to step 5. Like I always go back a few steps and then forward and then back and then forward just because it's art, you know what I mean? All right, so I'm gonna use that same brush one more time with that orangey shade and just kind of, I'm using a much lighter hand with this and I'm just gonna kind of go around that crease and blend that out. All right, I have this super old Revlon brush that I literally bought probably a decade ago, but it has held up so well and none of the bristles have come out and it's just this tiny little brush and I love it for putting on shimmer shades. So that's what I'm gonna use. They probably don't make it anymore. I couldn't even tell you where I got it. I don't know if it came in a palette. I don't know where it came from, but I really like this little brush, so it's what I'm sticking with. So I don't know if I wanna go with that super dark shimmer. All right, I'm swatching the different shimmers on my hand and I'm trying to decide which I want to go with because I don't think I want to go this dark on my shimmer just because I really want to lighten that center part of my eye. So I think what I'm gonna go with is I'm gonna go in with Coin. Oh man, look at me, I'm putting my nail in the shades. I'm gonna go in with Coin, which is kind of this like antique-y, yellowy shimmer shade. It's like kind of yellow, kind of green. I do feel like that'll bring out the green in my eyeshadow look. And then I'm gonna go on top of it with this, which is Guilt Trip, and I'm gonna go in just kind of right in the center with that. And I might use that light white shade, which is called VIP. I might use that on top. We'll see. Okay, and I never ever go in with shimmer shades without a setting spray on top of them. I never go in fully dry. I don't do that. I can't do it, so I'm not going to. So I'm gonna use my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist Spray. And just a little bit goes a long way. All right. Oh man. This is extremely shimmery. I feel like this really gives a lot of dimension to my look, which is exciting because that's what I like. All right. I don't feel like I'm the best with my technique for halo smoky eye looks with the shimmer in the center. I still feel like I'm not the greatest at it, but you know, I'm trying.
I'm all sweaty. Gotta give my 5 seconds of airtime, bro.
Okay. So I just realized that the Becca and Jaclyn Hill palette has a very, very similar design to the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palette. Which I don't have anything against, but I feel like Becca would have something to say about that. So I don't know. I have it sitting right behind me too. In the original packaging. Because I really, really liked this Becca and Jaclyn Hill palette, but I'm just kind of surprised that they didn't say anything about that yet. Okay, so this is with coin on the center, which I really like. And I'm gonna go in with Guilt Trip, that other shade I just showed you. Again, same process. All right, so I'm just gonna focus this kind of on the center. I don't know if you can really even tell that's on there. Oh, a little bit. I do feel like Guilt Trip kind of tones it down a little bit. Like I do feel like this is more of a like true gold, like jewelry gold. And the other one's more of a yellow. Yeah, that does, I can see the difference I can see is that it's more toned down. Like between this one and this one, it's a little bit brighter and it's a little bit more toned down from that pure yellow shade. All right, so I don't have anything on this brush other than what was left over. I'm just gonna kind of blend those edges in a little bit, just so that it's a little less harsh. I do feel like the green could have been a little bit easier to blend out. I'm gonna add a little bit of access on my brush now just to kind of go over everything one more time. I do feel like the green is a little bit patchy, just if we're being honest. And I'm trying to be critical. I mean, I don't feel like it's difficult to the point where I don't want to use it at all. I still definitely think that I would reach for this and I would want to use it, but I do feel like it's a little bit patchier. But also they're $15. So I guess, yeah, I'm always a big proponent of you get what you pay for. So I don't know. So now I'm gonna go in with VIP, this shade right here, which is a very white shimmery shade. All right, I'm gonna use that pencil brush one more time and I'm just gonna kind of dust that into that shade because I don't want to overtake the shimmer that I already have, and I did wet it. I'm just gonna put that right in the center because that's very, very white. Okay, so I'm gonna dust off my brush because that's like kind of, I mean, that's very pigmented. So I'm just gonna kind of blend that in to give it a little bit more dimension. And I'm gonna go in with Prowl one more time, just to kind of darken it. I do feel like Prowl is pretty easy to blend. It's just that green shade that's a little bit more difficult. So I just kind of set that there. And I don't know if it's because of the concealer on my eye first that maybe it's not reacting as well with. It's a possibility. There's so many variables when it comes to makeup like this. So, all right, so I'm gonna go through the next parts kind of quickly just because this video is not about lashes and brows and that sort of thing. So I'm gonna do my eyeliner with the Eye Studio Gel Liner by Maybelline with my little liner brush. And then I'm gonna go in with my Flutter Lashes in Provocative, which I love. These are so pretty. So I'm gonna do all of that while I use my Full Lips Enhancer, which is so dirty. the Foolproof Brow Powder by Benefit. This is in the shade number 3. Alright, so as per usual, I'm going to go in with my Makeup Forever. This is the R230 Ultra HD Foundation. Alright, so I'm gonna go in with my Morphe 069 PW palette, which looks like this. It's kind of trashed, but I love it, so it is what it is. And we're just going to contour with that. And for blush, I'm going in with my Morphe 8W palette. Ooh, right there. And I'm gonna use MUA just right here. A little bit of nose contour. And my all-time favorite highlighter, which is the Jeffree Star Peach Goddess highlighter. Alright, and I'm gonna go in with that VIP shade on this fluffy brush, just on the inner corner. Perfect. And then I'm just gonna go underneath with an array of those same exact colors that I used on top. Just kidding, we're gonna use Thick as Thieves and Birthday Suit on my lips today. Alright, and the final touch is going to be some Scandinavia setting spray. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.